Exactly like that. Take an example of our school, okay? So in our school, we have principal, then we have headmistress, okay? So just imagine if it was only the principal, so how one principal could look after, all these different sections, this junior section, the prep section, the senior section. So all those sections needed their headmistress or their headmasters to actually look after them and then report to the main inferior, which is the principal in that case, right? So exactly like that same example, exactly like that over here as well, they divided all these the entire empire into different states. Okay, we could call them provinces, and over here they're calling them satrapies, and all of them were actually ruled by different state ministers, chief ministers, or over here they're calling them governors, and in their old language they're calling them satraps. Okay, now to keep a check on the satrap, a military officer was stationed in each satrapy to represent the great king of kings, Shahanshah. So, to also now enforce the law and enforcement and to make sure that there was enough law and order in their province and in their territory, so they also infused, they also, let's say, hired or let's say stationed a military officer with a little bit force, maybe with a little bit horses, a little bit weaponry as well, just to make sure that the law and order situation is going good and they are actually looking after the governors themselves as well. So now then it says that they traveled throughout the empire and reported to the king. So Darius set up proper rules of the government and introduced a monetary system. A new postal system was also set up which had relay stations called Chaparkhane throughout the empire. Now over here, monetary system. Now monetary system, if I can give you an example, is actually it actually means that there is a proper check and balance going on over there. Okay, it's not like okay, so it's really important to keep a track of how much business or how much money is being generated through different businesses around the province. So there was actually a proper monetary system. Okay, otherwise if they were not having any monetary system, so why don't you tell me in the comment box, in the comments below on this YouTube, on this video, that what could have happened if they didn't had a monetary system. And for a little bit reinforcement, let me show you monetary policy, monetary. Okay, no, I don't want a policy, we just want system. We want to understand what is this. Okay, see, now the monetary system is a set of institutions and arrangements that supports monetary exchange. It consists of money and payment systems. Okay, see, it's something related to the finance. Okay, so here they're talking about maybe they were having good banks at that time. At that time, having a concept of banks who used to keep the money, and people used to go and take the money from them, exactly the way it happens in today's world. Like for example, we are having credit cards, we're having ATM cards. Your parents are having their bank accounts in different banks. Why do they have a bank account? Maybe because they want to save their money in the bank and they want to make sure that they are not carrying huge amount of cash in their pockets, but instead it's the bank. You can just use your credit card or maybe your debit cards on POS. POS means point of sale. POS, point of sale. And what are point of sales? For example, if you're going to McDonald's and if you're swiping your card, your credit card or your debit card, so that particular process is called or that system of payment is called point of sale. All right, I hope I'm not wrong. Yep, yeah, that's the main meaning of that. So they introduced the monetary systems over there as well. A new postal system. Let's say we have postal system example in today's world: Pakistan Post, TCS, DHL. DHL is international. Well, let's say U.S. Postal Service, USP. That's international, only for United States, and so many more. Okay, and also which had relay stations. Relay stations means Chaparkhane, right? Relay stations here they're probably talking about, because you see, after this our topic is going to be Royal Road. Okay, so for example, if you're traveling from the southern part of Pakistan to the northern part of Pakistan, maybe the journey is from Karachi to Islamabad. Okay, so while this journey, you must have seen that whoever has traveled entire Pakistan, or maybe if you have traveled from Hyderabad to Karachi, so you must have seen that there have been many fuel stations, gas stations along the way, petrol stations, you can name them. So they're kind of, let's say, relay stations where you can stay, uh, take a little bit chill, refuel your vehicle, and buy something as snacks to eat, something like that. So that's what they're actually telling here is. Then in the end, they're saying that the policies of Cyrus and the administration in progress under the Darius strengthened the Persian Empire. So Darius I, who died in 486 BCE, had begun a conflict with the Greeks and continued intermittently. Intermittently means not so regular, but irregularly, but it was happening. It was quite often as well. More than 150 years after his death, until the Persians were conquered by the Alexander the Great in 331 BCE. So over here, it's actually telling us that the policies, the joint policies of Cyrus and Darius were really good, really efficient, which made their government strong and really prominent among the other empires around the world, and especially in this continent, okay, in the Asian continent, in this Persian peninsula. But then Darius, who died, they had begun some conflicts with Greeks, and they continued intermittently. And for 150 years after his death, until the Persians were conquered by Alexander the Great in 331 BCE. So, guys, I hope you understood this topic. All right, we have some information given here on the right side of the page in this yellow strip. So it says over here that the Persian inscription has three versions. Okay, of the same text written in the Old Persian, Elamite, and Babylonian, a letter form of Akkadian. So this is extra piece of information. The use of these three different languages in cuneiform inscribed boldly on a rock, a frequently used route, was to ensure that this history could be read by different people. So actually, these stones, these inscriptions, were actually kept on some places where people could, read them every day. For example, in our school, if you remember that when we enter our main hallway, so there are common boards for emergency numbers. Some rules and regulations are written over there. So they are actually placed on a very common place that whenever a student or a teacher or anyone is passing by, they can be able to see and read those rules. So this is the same example is given over here, that they were actually written in three different languages, that people from time to time can understand these languages, and they can read the history of the Persians and the history of the Darius, Cyrus, their lineage, their ancestry, what we just read on the previous page. So guys, this is pretty much it, and make sure you give a thumbs up, you subscribe to the channel, helps a lot, and put down your comments as well, the question I asked you before. And yeah, until next time, thank you.